try to teach my clients to avoid probate.
Yeah.
Even that I will make money
Right.
if you go to probate, but that's why you teach people to avoid probate. Do your estate planning, have a long-term insurance, do your wills, your trust, whatever you choose to do. And the thing is, like, people think, oh no, I'm gonna do something in writing and that will cover me. We have so many issues with that, but at the end of the day, even that is better than having nothing.
Yeah.
So you need to prepare. You need to organize your life.
Today, our guest is returning guest, actually, attorney at law, Dennisse Rivera-Eaves. Welcome back, Dennisse.
Thank you for having me back.
It's so exciting. You did a great job last time. We had so much content to cover that I don't really think we covered any of the content we needed to cover. So today, what you talked about last time was Medicaid, and we talked a little bit about ladybird deeds, but we just scraped the surface. So today we want to focus on what these two topics are today. We want to focus on specifically the deeds, the ladybird deeds, the difference in the different deeds. I mean, we just covered so little of it, and it left me and a lot of people probably more confused. So now we're going to just take these two topics and delve into them, if that's okay with you.
That's perfect.
Great. So the first thing is enhanced life estate deeds or ladybird deeds. What are the advantages of having a ladybird deed, and actually what is it?
So a ladybird deed is a estate planning tool. So it's a deed that we use it for two things. We're using it for Medicaid and also to avoid probate. We're going to talk about what Medicaid does, but to avoid probate, like you're naming a beneficiary, you retain control of the property, so it will be your property. You can sell it, you can mortgage, you can do whatever you want with the property. You retain full control. That's one of the main benefits. You're going to retain full control, and then when you pass, it will go straight to the beneficiary.
So that's how that deed, property, that's how you avoid probate with that deed.
You avoid probate with that deed. Like, it's one of the things that you can do to avoid probate. You prepare that deed, and when you passed away, your beneficiary only have to show your death certificate, and then that's it. It will be his house.
And there's a lot more advantages to that as well. But as far as that goes, so that you pass on, that goes to the family member. It's theirs instantly, some paperwork. That avoids probate, but it still doesn't keep everything else from going to probate. It just keeps that deed
Exactly.
protected.
It will only work, like, that will be one of the cons. Like, it will only protect the property. It will not
Right.
protect against your bank accounts or if you have any other property. Another benefit is that you keep, while you're alive, you're keeping all your homestead exemptions. So if you have an agricultural exemption, if you have your over 65 exemption, if you have military disability exemption, all those exemptions you will keep those.
Okay.
So that's another main benefit, that you will keep all your homestead exemptions.
Yeah, that's important to know. So what about a transfer on death deed? Is this the same as the ladybird deed?
Pretty much they're the same.
Okay.
Like, the difference is that with a ladybird deed, we have more protections.
Okay.
Because with a transfer on that deed, usually we can do only ladybird deeds with your homestead. That's why you're keeping all those exemptions. But with a transfer on that deed, the thing that I found different is, like, you don't have your homestead exemptions, and also creditors can come back up to 2 years to get your property if the person owes any money. So if the person owes any money, then they can come back.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So what if you still have a mortgage on your home? Can you still do a ladybird deed?
You can still do a ladybird deed.
And so how does that work? The equity goes towards the deed, or they assume the payments? What if the bank doesn't want to credit your family member, whoever you deeded it to? What if the bank doesn't want to extend credit to them?
Usually what I do, like in my cases, like if the people owes a lot of money, I won't recommend it. You can still do it.
Okay.
But if they still want to do it, what I will do is I will contact the mortgage company. And if they agree to do the ladybird deed to the beneficiary,
Then it's
we
no
can
problem.
do it.
Okay.
There will be no problem.
Great. That's
That's
really good to
the
know.
main thing that like. That's something I do. Like, I don't know if any
Sure.
attorney will do, but that's something that I do because it gives you an extra protection.
Right.
Like, if you want to give the property, but it owes $30,000, give it away, because you know that they can pay that balance.
Right.
But if he owes like $150,000 or $200,000, I will bring the mortgage company in so they know we're planning on doing this.
Right.
And usually, like, I haven't had any issues. Like, I did have some issues with some of the mortgage companies, but sometimes they will agree.
Yeah, and that's just, I think something people need to know because it works really well if that home is paid off. That's when it really
that
works
will be
perfect.
perfect.
That's the best time, yeah. So, what else can you tell me about Ladybird deeds so it's not for everyone. Everyone doesn't need it. Like for this house right now, I probably don't need a Ladybird deed because I owe more than what's in the equity, right?
Yeah.
And so we would probably look at that. Or if I have insurance, it's going to wind up kicking into effect at some point. That's again where you have to have that conversation with the creditor.
Yeah, it will be case by case. Like you have to understand that, for example, if you're trying to protect the property from Medicaid, that we will talk in a little bit later, you probably need to have a Ladybird deed because those are the first things. Yeah, they will let you keep a house. Yes, they will let you keep a vehicle. They will let you keep your bank accounts, but they will go after them when you passed away.
Yeah.
So that's why they let you keep them. But the process is that we protect them with a Ladybird deed because, first of all, capital gain. The person who gets the property will be stuck in the price that you bought it. Like if you bought it for 300 and when we pass it, it was 305, it will be for 305. And when says that you plan to sell it 10 years later and it's like $500,000,
Yeah.
you're not gonna pay for all of that.
Right.
You got stuck in that. So that's another benefit of having a Ladybird deed. But it has to be case by case.
Yeah.
I will do it for obviously avoiding probate if that's the only thing I have.
Sure.
Because if I have other things, like there's other ways to avoid probate for bank accounts, for any of that. But like main thing, if we are planning on going into any Medicaid or government benefits that you're gonna ask for government benefits, I will do a Ladybird deed. If you're trying to avoid probate when the only property you have is your homestead, I will do a Ladybird deed. So that's like you have to do it case by case. If you have a lot of properties, then do a trust and put them in a trust. So that's how I think about the Ladybird deed.
Well, okay. So we're gonna start getting into Medicaid now and how this affects. But why would somebody need Medicaid? Let's talk about that versus Medicare or insurance. Why would I want Medicaid?
Well, Medicaid, usually we use it like pretty much elderly and disabled people over 65. You're going to get Medicare anyways. Over 65, you're getting Medicare. If you're disabled, you can get Medicaid. If you're an elder person, you can get Medicare, Medicaid. If you're pregnant and have kids, you can also get Medicaid. And in some rare cases, being a caregiver and being a parent can get you into Medicaid. But the ones that I do, it is elder and disabled, and also full nursing home. So if you're planning into going into a nursing home, you can get Medicaid to cover the full nursing home costs.
Because Medicare doesn't cover that.
No.
And I think that's where a lot of people get confused is that Medicare, while it's a great program, it doesn't cover the long-term care.
And that's what they
aspects.
say, oh, no, I have Medicare. Yeah, you
yeah.
have Medicare, which will cover your health insurance
Sure.
expenses, all your medical bills and stuff like that. But you don't have it where it will cover your nursing home if you have to go from your home to a nursing home facility.
Right. It may cover it for just a little bit, but for a short stay, but it doesn't cover it, but basically your housing for long-term care.
Usually it will cover up to 120 days, but you have to appeal so many
Right,
times to
right.
cover for Medicare that is better to have a Medicaid-approved facility and go straight into a nursing home.
Yeah. So let's talk about eligibility for Medicaid. That's one of the biggest things people wonder. How do I qualify? How do I know if I qualify for Medicaid? Or how do I get ready to qualify for Medicaid?
First of all, you have to be a citizen. In order to qualify for Medicaid, you have to be a citizen. Second, assets and income. In assets, we're talking about for 2026, we're talking about $2,829 for a single person, and almost $6,000 if both persons, like if it's a couple and both of them are going into Medicaid. That's your income cap.
Okay.
Assets, you have to have $2,000 in assets. So
2,000 or less?
2,000 or less in
Wow.
assets. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to get qualified. As I told you before, they can let you have a property up to $1 million. They can let you have a vehicle. They can any value. They can obviously will let you keep your bank accounts, but obviously those have to be under $2,000. And then there's a lot of things that you can do. But main thing, you have to have a medical necessity, because obviously they're going to pay if you have a medical necessity. You're disabled, you're elder, have Alzheimer, dementia, you have a condition that requires that people help you.
Yeah. And Medicaid's different in each state. So state of Texas manages Medicaid and the rules for the state of Texas. So it's not the same from state to state. Whereas Medicare, because it's federal, it's the same across the country.
Exactly. Yeah, you're going to get it when you get 65, you're going to get it.
So what are some of the programs available for seniors and people with disabilities through Medicaid? What are some of the
main 5 programs, and I'm going to, because
absolutely.
I need
Let's
to
get
get
them
my
right.
names. So the main programs are Health Start, which is for disabled people. You have Medicaid for elder, and which cover medical insurance, but also covers long-term care. You have for pregnant women and mothers from zero to I think they cover up to now for 2 years, but 1 year and a half and all of that. But all of them are income based, so you have to qualify.
Okay.
Being a citizen, being like income based, so it depends. Long-term care, it will be 2,000, as I told you, 28, 29 for income. And then also you have to have a medical necessity. To be able to qualify for all of this, you will have to have a medical necessity, which usually the nursing home or your doctor is the one doing that risk assessment. Sure. So that's the main thing about pretty much eligibility for all these programs.
Okay. So with the income and the assets, do I have to... let's say my Social Security, if I'm a senior, is $2,500 a month. I'm a single person. Or what's that cap that you said?
28, 29.
So 28. Let's say I'm getting $3,000 a month. That I won't qualify?
You will, like in theory, you will not qualify and you will be denied services. Okay. But there's always a way, because that's what we do. There's always a way.
That's what I need to know.
That's why you have to go to an attorney,
right,
so they can help you. We can do what is called a qualified income trust. It was called before a Miller trust. Okay. It is an irrevocable trust that we can create in order to get you qualified. All the excess money that you have will go into this trust. That will cure the problem that we have, that you are over the income limit. You are like 100 and something over the income limit.
Okay.
And that way, that money will also be protected and will not count towards your assets. So once you create that qualified income trust, you're good. Obviously, one of the cons, you have to name Medicaid as a beneficiary.
Okay.
So what do I tell my clients? Whenever you're going to pay for something, use that account. That way, you're using that account for your loved one while they're in the nursing home facility. And again, you're not going to leave any money for them to be able to take when you passed away.
So on this, the Miller, it's basically almost like a cafeteria account, right? So you're putting your money in there, and then it's being managed out so that you're still not exceeding the amount that you're supposed to take. But it's protected out of a trust. So now the trust is that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And the main thing is like the only, you have to be cautious, because the only thing that you can do with these accounts is for the benefit of the person that is going into Medicaid. So you can only use it for hearing aids, eyeglasses, all medical needs. Okay. All medical needs are good with this. But also if you're a spouse, and let's say your wife went into Medicaid, you can use it to pay your bills because you're the spouse. So as long as it's for the benefit of the person applying to Medicaid and the spouse, you're good.
So the Miller Trust or a qualified income trust, are those the same thing?
Yes, it is the same.
The name change? Okay. I think sometimes that's what gets confusing, is some of these names that we've heard, people call them different, like power of attorney and directive to physicians. I think those get confused a whole lot of time. What we typically need in the healthcare world are the directives to the physicians, right?
Yeah,
That's what helps
which
us.
is the medical POA or directed to physicians.
Yeah, and I think that's what
And DNR and all of that
all
stuff.
of
That
those
is
things,
why
they
it's so confusing.
and there are a lot of those forms, and you run into them. But that we talk about that on another show. But even DNRs, they get so confusing because there are out of hospital DNRs, and they're really easy to fill out. But I think people get confused. I've seen younger people say, "Hey, I want a DNR," and that just means you're not going to resuscitate them if they're choking on something or if they're in cardiac arrest, and you could typically resuscitate them. If that is produced, it takes away your ability to resuscitate them. Where the DNR really works well is when you have a terminal illness, or you're extremely elderly, you're 95 years old, and you know that it's going to be brutal to perform some of these CPR measures on somebody. So I think really understanding what that DNR does and doesn't do versus the advanced directives. I think it's important for people to understand that, and we're going to be talking about that a lot as this goes on. So a lot of people, this is one of the questions that comes up all the time. I hear it all the time. Is the 5-year outlook period? What is that?
Oh my God, yes, I do hear that all the time. Like all my clients, like, oh, so you're telling me that I'm gonna give you all my bank statements and I have to bring all the stuff that I sold? Like, no, sir. Like the thing for the lookout period pretty much is to avoid fraud.
Okay.
Like we do this, well, not we, Medicaid will do this file lookout period. Is like they have 5 years to look back on all the things that you sold, all the things that you traded. Like if they're not over, let's say that you're gonna sell your vehicle and you sell it like in this 5-year cap period. If you sold your vehicle for $1,000 when it was worth $6,000 or $7,000, it raised a red flag because what we're thinking is like, oh, he wanted to qualify for Medicaid. He's trying to get rid of all his stuff and then to get qualified. So as long as you do everything on a fair market value, you're good. As long as you sell that car, even if you are going to sell it for $1,000, you have an explanation. Hey, I sold my car to Fred because Fred was running errands for me. Fred was taking care of me during that time. So I think this is fair.
Gotcha. Okay.
So as long as we have an explanation on what we did, and it's only things that they're going to see that it will raise a red flag. So you don't have to worry about that 5-year lookup period. Even that people comes to me, hey, can I do the Lady Bird deed now? My parent is already at the nursing home. As long as he can sign, yes, we can do it. But it will not go until the 5-year lookup period. I'm like, yeah, it will. But as long as we're doing this, like he's giving you the property. He's giving all his kids the property. So it doesn't look bad. Like the red flags were raised whenever we do something that it looks suspicious.
Right.
If you know what.
And that makes sense. You know, there's so much fraud out there anyway. They're just trying to make sure everything's done on the up and up, and that we're not purposely trying to get rid of assets and hide where that money went.
And there's always legal way to spend down assets. Like some people come to my office and say, hey, Miss Dennisse, I don't think I qualify because I have $100,000. And when you see it like, yes, I can only have $2,000. Yes, you have $100,000, but there's legal ways to spend down this money. Go ahead and buy your prepaid arrangement funeral. Go have a cemetery lot. Like these are things that you will need.
Yes.
Go ahead and pay your debts, pay your mortgage off.
Yeah.
That way we're spending legally ways to spend down money that will not raise red flags because you're preparing and you're planning to go into Medicaid.
Yeah, and this is another topic for another day, but I always tell people, while you have the ability to pre-plan your funeral or make that purchase, it's better that you do it while you have capacity, because when you leave the family to do it, there's almost like a guilt, and they'll go out and overspend and they'll buy all the stuff that you would have never wanted, but because you never had the conversation, You didn't go pre-plan it.
The best thing that you do it yourself is you're choosing what you want.
What you want,
I
yeah.
want to be cremated. Then let's pay $3,000, and my family is not spending $14,000 or $25,000 in my funeral.
And that's easy to explain in the 5-year look back. Yeah, I paid
That's
for
one
this.
of the acceptance way to legally spend down money.
Yeah.
So cemetery lot, and you can buy it not only for you. You can buy it for you, your spouse, and your family.
Yeah.
Like so if we want to get rid of those $100,000, when you see it, you and me know that this is not a lot of money when you
Right.
pay for assisted living or when
Right.
you pay for in-home care. This is not a lot of money. So in the period of like probably 6 or 7 months, if we're paying a 24/7 caregiver, we're going to spend down that money
Really quickly.
and that's a legal way to spend down that money. So as long as you can keep the person in the house with home care, let's do it.
Yeah.
Leave it
That
there.
makes sense. That
And,
makes sense.
and you're
to spend it that
spending
way.
money, and it will not raise a red flag.
Yeah, and so many people want to age in their home. They don't want to end up somewhere else. But there are times where the home is no longer the right place for them, especially with memory care and some other ailments that they could happen where they're bedridden, or maybe they wind up on a ventilator and they didn't have a DNR, or they didn't have advanced directives. So you can stay in the house for a long time, and that's what we do, is try to make sure people are there living independently if they can, but living with dignity is really important. But again, that money will run out if you're not wealthy. In-home care for 24/7, it can be $20,000 a month. And then you tag that onto an assisted living facility, that could be another $6,000 to $10,000 a month. And so, it's really determined. You have to know what you want. And even if you have long-term care insurance, if you have a plan, you still have to have medical necessity. You have to have 2 daily living activities that will trigger that so that it'll work.
And I cannot stress this enough. People, get long-term insurance.
Yes.
Like, get it, because
Yeah.
it's like,
Can you look at the camera and say it?
totally worth it. You
Look-
can get it.
Yeah.
And then we do Medicaid. I do long-term Medicaid when there's no way, like, you spend all your assets, because there comes a time that you will have to go, your loved one cannot take care of you.
Right.
Because that's when we go into the long-term care. There's no way that our loved one can pocket this,
Right.
like, because it's a lot of money. So that's when we go to there. But if you have a long-term insurance, you will, like I'm telling you, you're gonna be all right, because they will pay at home care, in home, they will care long-term care in a nursing home facility. And the most important thing with Medicaid is, like, once we run that down of money, spend down all that money, you're getting into Medicaid. You will be
Right.
good to get into Medicaid. But also, one of the most important things is, like, as long as we can keep the family member and their wishes, usually, like 99.9% of the time, is I want to die home.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so that's why I cannot stress enough, like, that people get long-term insurance.
Yeah, because if they wind up on hospice, Medicare is going to cover that. You don't need Medicaid for that.
No.
Medicare, if you're over 65, hospice will be covered through Medicare. But some of those other things where you're living and you don't have basically an illness, it's terminal illness or dementia or some of the things that will activate that Medicare for you, then you wind up needing that Medicaid until you have the diagnosis to go on to hospice.
And one of the important things to tell is that not all the nursing homes accept Medicaid.
Right.
So that's another thing that you need to figure out. Like, that's why, again, long-term care, insurance, anything that you can have to avoid, because pretty much not all, but some of these places that accept Medicaid are not good places.
They're not.
Because they accept a lot of people, and that's why we want our loved one to have the best quality of life for the years that they
Right.
have left. So that's why Medicaid, in order to get it, you cannot get him into any nursing home, your loved one. It has to be a Medicaid-approved facility.
Right.
Which means there's not a lot of places like that.
Yeah.
And the ones that we have, like, some of them, and I've been there, so I know, are not good.
Yes. I've been a paramedic for 35 years, and I can tell you, you can tell when you walk in to a Medicaid
From the
facility
moment that you
by
get
the
in.
smell when you open the door. We talked about that with Warren Cobb when he was on. But yeah, it is. There are different levels of care. There are different levels of nursing homes, and the Medicaid one is the one you really want to avoid if you can. But there's so many people who are living in just outside of poverty, and this is where they're going to wind up, or they lived a great life, and then just at the end they went through all of their wealth caring for someone 24/7, and now they're out of money.
And
They've
the thing is,
outlived
like, you
that.
can have all the money in the world. Like, one of my clients had a lot of money, and I told them, the family members, I told them, we need to start her Medicaid. Like, let's plan for her Medicaid. Oh no, she has money. She has money. By the time that she reached
She
98,
had nothing left, huh?
she has nothing left.
Yeah.
We have to sell her the property, everything.
Yeah.
She has nothing left. She went into Medicaid. Well, she passed away. Like, oh yeah, you think it's gonna pass away when she's 100? She passed away when she was 102.
Yeah.
So we can last. I
Yes.
don't know what people in Texas have, but they last a lot. Like, they last longer.
Dr.
So
Pepper.
that's why we have to. That's why we have to prepare for the
Yes.
future.
And it's so important because you can outlive your wealth. And so knowing that we've got these medical issues, it's going to start to take a toll. Let's start this Medicaid process early on. Let's not wait until it's too late. But what I like to tell people all the time is, look, it's not going to benefit me helping any of my companies right now because I'll be dead before these programs kick in for you. But if you're young, you should get a long-term care policy, whether it's a hybrid policy, whether it is just long-term, but you need something to protect you because we're living longer now. We're going to be older now, and you need some sort of protection to protect your assets. And so many young people just don't think it's important. Oh, I'm going to live forever. I'm almost 60 years old, and never in my life did I start really thinking so much about long-term care insurance because of the people we take care of every day.
In my
And we watch
practice,
that.
is like young people and
Yeah.
Hispanic people. We think we're not gonna die, but we are.
Yeah.
So I tell all my clients, estate planning must, long-term care must. Even you think it's expensive because you have to pay a little bit more for premiums, but it's totally worth it. Like, when people go to my office already to try to apply for Medicaid when they didn't do any planning before, that's when we are freaking out about the 5 years. So if we start preparing from now, even if you only have a vehicle, go ahead and do your estate planning.
Yeah.
Because it costs more at the long run. It costs more that you don't have your stuff all prepared.
Yeah, I think it's so important. And what people don't realize is you need to start preparing. You need to start doing your estate planning. Even if you think you don't have anything, you've got to start preparing early, and doing it through a trusted attorney is the best way to do it. Yeah, you're going to avoid the pitfalls. You're going to avoid, if there are assets left, going to probate, and that, like you had said, I think $7,000 if you haven't done any of this stuff versus how much it would cost if you have wills in place, if you have everything already prepared.
If you have trust, if you have your estate planning done, if you do, like, when you do estate planning, even that I do probates for a living because I do elder law, I try to teach my clients to avoid probate.
Yeah.
Even that I will make money
Right.
if you go to probate, but that's why you teach people to avoid probate. Do your estate planning, have a long-term insurance, do your wills, your trust, whatever you choose to do. And the thing is, like, people think, oh no, I'm gonna do something in writing and that will cover me. We have so many issues with that, but at the end of the day, even that is better than having nothing.
Yeah.
So you need to prepare. You need to organize your life in order to be able to continue to live, make money, and do all the things that
Sure.
you're gonna do.
Yeah, because you want to do it kind of worry-free if you can. Now, let's just say we've gone through, I'm an elderly person. And I qualify. What is the process to start receiving Medicaid? I don't even know who to apply. I have no idea where I would go to apply for Medicaid.
Well,
do I come to you?
recommend an attorney.
Okay.
But you can even go. Some of the nursing homes will do the application.
Okay.
Some of them will do. Some of them, like, if they get stuck, they will send you to an attorney. I will always recommend an attorney because you are going to do everything fine from the get-go. And even if you go to an attorney, they can ask for documents that we never submit the first time. So you go, file the application. You can even go and call 211 and they will help you.
Really?
They will help you fill out the application. They will send you everything and they will help you do it. But again, it's case by case, because some cases can be super easy. I don't have anything. I only get $1,000 in income. I don't have any assets. You're good. We can do it for you. But when you have stock, bonds, annuities, IRAs, all of that stuff, you need an attorney, because they will guide you through the process of spending down, protecting those assets, creating trust, creating transfer on debt deeds, creating ladybird deeds, putting the money in a qualifying trust. So that's why and that's why I always say is case by case, because some cases are easy. And even that I can like charge the money, I said, you know what, go to your nursing home and find out if they can help you. And I will guide you through the process, and I will help you, and I will answer your questions, and I will be here
That's
for
good.
you.
That's
but
good.
but I don't want you to spend money when he's gonna, like, I'm pretty sure I will never tell anyone like, oh, you're gonna get qualified. But I can tell you, I have like,
A little doubt.
I think you're gonna get qualified. I think you're gonna be good, because you don't have the person doesn't have anything. So go ahead and do it with 2Y1, or do it by yourself, and I will help you and make sure that everything that you submit is okay. And I have done that so many times, because sometimes like the worst cases are the ones that I think that they have to go to an attorney, because those are the ones that we need to figure out what to do with your assets, how to protect them against Medicaid. Because Medicaid, once you pass away, you have to understand that Medicaid will want to recover their money.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about you passed away and now Medicaid wants to recover. What does that look like if you haven't done the Lady Bird deed, if you haven't got a will in place? What does that look like when Medicaid who's Medicaid coming after? I'm dead.
And that's the thing. You're dead, but your estate is still alive and kicking. So they're going to go after whoever will be your administrator, your beneficiaries, your heirs. They will want their money back. Let's say that you owe, at the time that you passed away, you owe $200,000. You have to think, what's the best thing that they're going to go after? Your house.
Right.
Like, let's say that you have money in the bank, they will go after the bank accounts. Let's say that you have a house that has a mortgage, but it's only $50,000, but you have a vehicle that is worth $100,000 vehicle. So they're gonna get all the things that they let you keep, as I told you before, a house, a car, bank accounts. Those are the first things that they're gonna try to get from you. So from your family member, because you're gonna be dead.
So, but the house is protected because I've placed it into a Lady Bird deed.
We did the Lady Bird deed.
So that's protected.
That's done.
The car, they're going to get a little bit out of the car if they take the car. But how do I protect the bank account? How do I protect any other assets, my stocks, my IRA?
Name beneficiaries.
So you name
Remember,
beneficiaries.
in Texas, everything that has a beneficiary goes straight to the beneficiary.
And so will Medicaid still get that? Or they're going to come after it,
But
it's protected?
They will always try to go after.
Okay.
So that's something that they will send, something that is a Medicaid questionnaire, which is a MERP, Medicaid State Recovery Plan questionnaire. You have to answer that. And pretty much what we want to do when we receive that document is telling them, he has no assets. We protected everything.
Okay.
So the person passed away with no assets. So, because one of the questions is, you're going to do a probate? No, we don't have to.
Right.
So as long as, because it's not only Medicaid, we are going to protect everything. We're going to do your estate planning. We're going to create wills. Because for Medicaid, let's say that both of them are going into a nursing home. And then all of them were prepared. Both of them were prepared with wills. But now she's the one going into the nursing home. We have to update his will. Because pretty much in Texas, husband and wife is moms and pops, what we call moms and pops will. I leave everything to you, you leave everything to me. So if I'm the one going into Medicaid, now we have to update yours, because now you cannot leave anything to me.
Yes.
You have to go to your kids.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the reason is if you passed away, even I'm the one going into Medicaid, but you passed away before me, and it has happened. So if you passed away before me, then I will be kicked out of Medicaid, because you're giving me all your estate.
Wow. So much, you're saying all these things, and it's opening up new things that I didn't think of. But okay, so what about, I have just going to throw a number out there. I have a $2 million life insurance policy on top of this. Does the beneficiary need to be the trust?
We have to change it.
You got to change
because
that.
if you have your wife as the beneficiary and she's the one going into Medicaid, we have to change it.
So you have to change that. You change it to your, let's say,
I
your
usually
son.
just say your kids.
Okay.
Go down.
But is that life insurance policy protected from Medicaid or whoever
Yes,
else? It is protected because you left it
That's your life insurance, and you left it to your kids.
Okay.
Again, if you passed away, it will go straight to your kids.
Good.
So that's why, yes, it's important, like for Medicaid, when you have stuff like this, stock, bonds, annuities, all this stuff that you need to protect, you have to, like I will 100% recommend to go to an attorney because they will know how to work with this.
That's really good. And you don't want to go to a defense attorney. You want to go to somebody who specializes
Elder law,
trust,
Medicaid,
probate,
whoever
will.
probates, estate planning, they will know how to do it.
Yeah, I
and
think
some of
that's
them will
important.
not work for that, and they will refer you to
Sure.
an estate, an elder law attorney or an estate planning attorney.
So, again, we always scrape. Is there anything that you think, okay, we didn't cover this. Let's talk about this for Medicaid, for example, or the Lady Bird deed. Is there anything that I may not have asked that I didn't think to ask that people need to know right now before they go?
No, I think on Lady Bird deed, we cover pretty much everything. I think it's better than a transfer on death deed. That's one of my main things, obviously, because a transfer on death deed, as we explained before, the creditors can go after that.
Okay.
Main thing about Lady Bird deed, make sure that if your beneficiary passed away before you update that, because if you don't update it, then it can go to probate. Okay. And I have one case that happened that's why I always tell my clients, make sure that if any of your beneficiaries passed away, go ahead and update your Lady Bird deed, because that's one of the good things. It's revocable. Yeah. If you don't like the person you gave the property, go ahead and change it.
And you can do that anytime with a Lady Bird. Now, let me ask you this. So if a Lady Bird deed, you have 2 children, or 2, let's not even say children, 2 people that you've deeded it to, and then one of them passes away. Does it create another, or is there, or
go ahead and update it.
Can you leave it to 2, or does it have to be left to 1?
You can leave it to a lot of people, and that's one of the...
So you could leave it to the SPCA.
You can leave it to anyone. That's the main thing. But if someone passed away, go ahead and
change
update it.
Update it immediately.
Because it's revocable, so you can go ahead and update it. Because the main thing is, like, if not, it's not that the other person will not receive it if you have 2 people getting it. It's because that it will have to go to probate because the person never updated it.
Sure.
So that's one of the pros and cons. Like, you have beneficiaries and they can get it, but if we're avoiding probate, that's what one of our issues was. Instead of Medicaid was avoiding probate, then we will have
now
to
it's going to go to probate, and now that money's probably going to get paid out to Medicaid. Very good information. Well, Dennisse, again, it's great having you on. I really appreciate you coming on. And this particular episode of the Senior Life Network podcast was actually sponsored by Cordoba Law Firm, PLLC. So
awesome.
It's very good, but great having you. Thank you. I think this is going to help a lot of people. And as they continue to ask questions, we may try to get you back.
I'm gonna sponsor yours, Cordoba.
Thank you for being back with us, Dennisse. I really
Thank you for
appreciate it.
inviting me.
Today's episode was sponsored by Cordoba Law Firm.